Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear may not sound exactly like any previous edition of the Not Too Late Show. Do not attempt to adjust your MP3 players. The following is recommended for immature audiences. I must please ask that while the performance is going on, please set your cell phones to vibrate. It's the Not Too Late Show with our very special guest star, William Wallace. Yay!
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Henry L. Scratchy Record Demand, and welcome to the new Not Too Late Show. Thank you for that introduction, Keisha. We are broadcasting to you from the second floor men's bathroom of the Crystal Pistol in lovely Fort Worth, Texas.
The men's bathroom, Hank? Yeah. Really? Seriously? Yeah. Seriously? Really?
Hey, Kerry. Don't worry. The plumbing hasn't worked in years, but the acoustics are fantastical.
Oh, that's great.
I do believe, though, that you have some announcements to make.
All right, I'll just go sit on this thing over here by the wall. Okay. Tight squeeze. All right. Here we go. If you're here, then you already know that we are on nottoolateshow.com, and we're also available on Twitter and Facebook. You can find us at the twitter.com/nottoolateshow. Same thing with the Facebook. We also have Geek and Instagram, but I barely use those. And of course, we are also going to be airing on JSPAZ. So if you're already listening to us on JSPAZ, hey, Oklahoma, y'all are awesome. Thanks for listening. If you don't know about JSPAZ, for crying out loud, go check them out. And actually, didn't they change their name? I'm over here calling them the old name.
Well, it's TFOK, I believe is the station.
Yeah. And so, if you're watching this off of YouTube, yes, we do have a YouTube account too. I will have all those links. We'll be talking about stuff. I will post links down there at the bottom, or if you're watching off the Not Too Late Show site, click down there too.
Hey, guess what?
What?
You're not live.
What? No. Camera.
So there's no deadline to meet, no camera rolling. Okay. Well, there is a camera rolling.
Well, there is. Yeah, there is now.
But no overdosing on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that's crapshoot. But now, okay, so we are still going to talk about history, right?
Well, yes and no.
And we're going to discuss the history of...
No.
But we are going to discuss the history of...
No.
Well, surely we're going to address the history...
That's on page 7.
Yeah, okay, but I did bring these articles about the...
Well, no, sorry.
What?
Sorry.
What are you doing to me?
I will tell you that one thing we are holding over from the old format is a little game we play called Stump the Expert.
Oh, cool.
Except we're not calling it Stump the Expert.
Huh?
Well, we found it was offensive to people with stumps.
Okay. So what are we calling it?
Only Jerks Hate History.
Oh, gosh, Hank.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our premiere edition of Only Jerks Hate History, brought to you by the producers of the Not Too Late Show. Only Jerks Hate History is sponsored by Zoot, the leaner, meaner gun cleaner. Housewives, are you perpetually disoriented by gun cleaners that get everywhere except on the pistol you're trying to clean? Does your husband come home and lament that his favorite chair is stained after just a few minutes of routine oiling and prepping? Well, now you don't have to worry about the family's home defense system getting jammed in those critical moments. But you can still keep your beautiful hands clean and not worry about staining your lovely nails. Zoot uses what we call penetrating forces to get in all the key areas of your favorite weapon. In a word, it greases that chamber without soiling your trigger finger. Run out and buy a bottle today from your trusted gun dealer or your psychoanalyst. Get it from your shrink. You won't regret it.
All right, now, Kerry, tell us who our special guest contestant is on Only Jerks Hate History.
All right, Kerry, tell us who our special guest is.
That's my line. I just read that.
Huh? Oh, dang it. Okay, I'm still getting used to the script thing. Okay, here we go. Today's special guest contestant is the 14th century Scottish freedom fighter, William Wallace.
All right.
Well, I must say, Bill, that you don't look anything like Mel Gibson.
I should certainly hope not.
Oh, goodness. He sounds familiar.
Now, Mr. Wallace just got here, so let's work on helping the man feel at home. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how was your trip to the studio, Bill?
I can't get over the number of automobiles you have. Why, I remember thinking that the English catapults were pretty far advanced. But I wish I had your technology in the 14th century. We Scots could have defeated Edward Scissorpants in one lasting blow.
Edward Scissorpants? I thought his nickname was Edward Longshanks.
He grew to like it, the petty prince. We had to change it. We actually changed it quite a few times. In addition to Edward Scissorpants, we called him Edward the Worst, Edweird, Edward whose mom's name is Edward, Edward the Dead Worm, and the King of Pixie Ice Knot.
Okay.
So William, if you had not become a freedom fighter, what would you have done?
Oh, I don't know. I might have been a Catholic priest. Insert your own bloody joke here. If I'd lived in your century, I could have been an actor. Yeah, I'd love to have played a king or a spy or the father of a globe-trotting archaeologist.
Okay. All right, so you two boys ready to play Only Jerks Hate History?
I'm ready.
All right.
How about you, Bill? You ready?
I'm as ready as a chipmunk in a walnut farm.
Okay. All right, so our questions are going to be themed each week. And this week's themes are things I have found from YouTube and Twitter. So, as you know, I've been kind of socializing a little bit. So, this one I found from, there's a Twitter account called AP_US History. And again, I'll be posting these. And they asked a question, who was the founder of Pennsylvania in 1682? And I can give questions, or y'all just take a guess.
Multiple choices?
I can give you multiple guess. Here we go. Andrew Carnegie, William Penn, William Seward, or Woodrow Wilson.
That's a mouthful.
That's a lot. We're having a lot of tongue twisting today. Say that 10 times fast.
No thanks.
Okay. So what do you think, Mr. Wallace?
Well, naturally I have to go with William the Williams. I'll go with William Seward.
Well, I believe since it's called Pennsylvania, it would have to be William Penn.
It is William Penn.
Oh, doggone.
There you go.
How about that?
All righty. So,
Ding, ding, ding.
ding, 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 ding. Yes. We'll have sound effects next week, folks.
Okay.
All right. So we're still in
couldn't
our
afford
planning
them.
phases. Yeah, there you go. So, all right, next question. I found actually off of a YouTube, the Twitter account is weird_hist, short for history, and tweeting weird and wonderful history. And he has an ebook, Leaving Earth, Why One Way to Mars Makes Sense. All right, and he did a video called American History in Washington, D.C. Who Wants to Be a Mega Trillionaire? I recommend everybody watch it. And one of the questions was, what city was the U.S. capital from 1789 to 1790? Was it Washington, D.C., Boston, Massachusetts, New York City, New York, or Salem, Massachusetts?
I'm going to go with Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I do believe it was New York City.
It was New York City. Hey, that's 2 for 2. All right. Ding, 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 ding,
I'm
ding,
on
ding,
a
ding.
roll. Can we quit now?
He's on a Kaiser roll, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. All right. Thank you for that input. All right. And last question from @USPresidents101. They asked, who was the 20th U.S. president? Here's a hint. He was from 1881 to 1881.
Okay.
James Monroe, Ronald Reagan, James Garfield, or Benjamin Harrison.
That's a broad spectrum there.
And I can give you one more hint. He was assassinated. That's why his term was so short.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's not the second one. We know that for sure.
Right.
I'm going to say excuse me. I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. I will say Benjamin Harrison.
Okay.
I do believe it was James A. Garfield.
It was James Garfield. And he was...
Named after the cat.
I think the cat was named after him.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure he was orange and pudgy. He might have been pudgy. Was he pudgy?
Do Scots people like cats?
I'm fine with it. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm good with it.
Did cats help win the war against Edward Scissorpans?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one interesting little tidbit, if I could just, this also, because he actually died from infection because they just didn't have the medicine. There was a whole bunch of history.
Right.
I won't read the whole history here,
Right.
I think. But I thought it was really interesting that in the process of him, like it was like the heat of the summer. And so as it became so oppressive, a Navy engineer with the help of Simon Newcomb installed in Garfield's room what may have been the world's first air conditioner. An air blower was installed over a chest containing 6 tons of ice, with the air then dried by conduction through a long iron box filled with cotton screens and connected to the room's heat vent. The device was at times capable of reducing the air temperature to 20 degrees below the outside temperature. So I thought that was interesting. The poor guy still died, but at least he was comfortable before he got there.
Yeah, he was shot in a train station, I believe. He was on his way to Cleveland or someplace like that, and he lingered for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. He tried.
Lingered and langured.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a good guy too. He's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Well, I'm glad that's over.
I have fun with this. At your expense, I might say. But
I know you do.
yes,
Good job there, Hank.
and good job to you, Mr. Wallace.
Aye, well, I try. That's all I can do is try.
Now, Mr. Wallace, would you like to stay a little longer and sit through our Not Too Late Show the next segment? History Strikes Back.
Actually, I've got an appointment with Bruce.
Oh, you're talking about Robert the Bruce, the head of the Scottish clans, who once betrayed you and then went on to rally against Edward Longshanks?
No, this would be Kerry's husband, Bruce. He wants to sell me a scabbard. Mine's got a nasty tear down the side.
Let me see the sword that you're going to sheath it in.
'Tis right here under me kilt.
Okay. I don't think his scabbard is big enough to hold that.
That's exactly what the lady at the chemist told me.
All right, okay, all right. Let's begin our next segment. Once again, History Strikes Back. All right. There's lots of interesting things that happened on this day. This is January, we're all hearing this, on January 5th. Hopefully the air date will be January 5th, 2014, if God willing and the creeks don't rise. I guess the most interesting, most significant thing that happened on this day was in 1959. Was a meeting between William Morgan and Fidel Castro. William Morgan was he was an American guy. He was from Cleveland, speaking of Cleveland, and he was I don't even know if he had any kind of Cuban or Spanish heritage in him at all. He just wanted to be a commie, I guess, and decided that the best place to go was Cuba, and Cuba was
Man with high aspirations.
Yeah, they were recruiting commies, and so he went down there, and I guess he had some relative military experience, and so Castro took him in, and he actually became one of Castro's right hand henchmen, so to speak. The story doesn't really end well for William Morgan, though. I think it was roughly about 6 or 8 months later, he was accused of being part of one CIA plot against Castro, and then I think another 6 or 8 months after that, he was once again set aside.
So he started off wanting to join Castro, and then he wanted to kill him?
Well, he was an opportunist, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. I guess the CIA came and approached him and said, "Hey, you're American.
Sure.
How about we make things better for you than they are for you right now?" So I don't know. It kind of went back and forth. Mm-hmm. There's various scholarship on it, but Actually, the only thing that I could find that went into any detail about his meetings with the CIA was a book that I don't have in front of me right now. Of course, that always happens. I can't ever.
Just when you think, just when we think we're prepared.
I know. I wrote a ton of names down in books and stuff, and I was like, hey, forgot about William Morgan and Castro. But anyway, nonetheless, there is a book out there regarding William Morgan's association with Castro and the CIA, and it was probably I don't even know if he made it 2 years. He
short-lived.
It was like Castro's like, hey, come over here.
Yeah,
and then that was it. That was all she wrote.
Yeah.
The Breyer incident happened in 1993, roughly 21 years ago, barely making it history in my estimation. And she's running away, just like my kids at the dinner table. Get them to having a conversation. Anyway, no.
So I don't have a camera. They can't see me running away. It's kind of nice not having eyes on me the
Breyer incident. The Breyer incident.
By the way, you're going to find me
this is a Scottish boot.
I thought you were going to go see my husband.
Bye.
What is this?
No, it was written out, I think. I don't know. We'll come back to that. He came back. He's done. Yes. Business is over. He's back.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
I do things very quickly, so yes. I took care of business while you were walking around.
That's fine, Mr. Mr. Wallace.
Mr. Whoever.
Yes.
We're still on segment 1, right? The Breyer incident was a boot that was carrying roughly, I think, 83,000 metric gallons of oil, and it had got a hole in it, and I know.
This sounds familiar.
I don't know the exact quantity, but I discovered that this happened in 1993, and the Exxon Valdez happened in 89, right? Well, the Breyer incident actually spilled more oil, both out of the boat and into the ocean, than the Exxon Valdez.
Oh,
so
wow.
it is the largest oil catastrophe in history, and I think it even beats out that thing that happened a couple of years ago in the Gulf.
Wow.
So yeah, and the thing about it is, though, there wasn't a whole lot of cleanup because a big north wind came in and blew it all out to sea.
Actually, I remember hearing about that.
By the time everybody scrambled and got together and got it taken care of, it had all blown out to sea. So.
Yeah, they're not all that easy. I think this last one, they're still cleaning up seagulls.
Yeah, with paintbrushes. Yeah. Stroke by stroke, feather by feather. Yeah.
Poor seagulls.
So, and also in 1835, it was minus 23 degrees at Yale University. So,
and that's significant. Why?
Because it happened on January 5th. Minus 23 degrees?
Minus 23.
Don't you think that's a little extreme?
Dude, in Alaska at Christmas, it was negative 20 a couple of years ago. There were icicles in my nose. And that was considered warm for them.
Well, it's Connecticut, They're,
does it not get cold in Connecticut? Or?
Well, I mean, it gets cold, but it doesn't get to minus 23 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's icicles in your nose cold, dude. And I wish that was an exaggeration.
So did you know that the Time Warrior was released on January 5th?
Yes. I saw this on the list and I got all excited. Only problem is I went on Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, and even YouTube. Don't ask. And could not find. This is like
couldn't
the
find
hardest.
the episode. Huh?
No, couldn't find the episode. You have to buy it. But it's significant because geek moment, right? Okay. This is
that's allowed.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The Time Warrior, this January 5th, it was a 4-episode run. And January 5th was the day that they aired the 4th episode. And this particular episode was very significant because it not only aired Sarah Jane Smith, who was probably the most well-known of the Doctor's assistants of the classic Doctor Who. This was her first episode when she was introduced. This was back when the Doctor was John Pertwee. Most people know the Tom Baker Doctor. Okay, now you're giving me weird looks. Hey, you brought this up. First episode was Sarah Jane Smith. This was also the first episode where the Doctor's home planet Gallifrey was first discussed, and it was also the first episode where the Sundarans were discussed. And these were the guys who were like military type people. So yes, it was exciting. Oh. Too bad I hadn't seen it yet. So
okay, well, I'm very hopeful that the listeners will be as appreciative as you are of that mention.
And when I saw this on the script, I talked to Bruce about it, and I went on a much longer tirade about it. So guess what I'm getting for Christmas? Or by this time, what I got for Christmas. But yeah, so, I mean, John Pertwee was one of my favorite doctors, along with Tom Baker and of course David Tennant. And Sarah Jane was one of.
For those of you new listeners, I'm
a nerd.
I haven't. I've never watched a Doctor Who all the way through. I've seen about 10 minutes worth of it, I guess, maybe about like 3 episodes.
You have not lived.
I'm just not quite as enamored with it.
That befuddles me because all he does is go back in time.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Sometimes he goes. Okay, half the time he's in the future. So, actually, it's a 1/3. Sometimes he's in the future. Sometimes he's in the present. But sometimes he's in the past. I mean, one time he went and visited Mount Vesuvius before it blew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think he's done that a few times.
So did he stop it?
Oh, of course not. It happened.
So William Wallace, are you a Doctor Who fan?
Well, since she's gone back to the past, I've seen him and I've waved my hand and said
yeah,
hello. And that was pretty much about it.
Yep.
That's all there is to it.
He ran by in a scarf and waved hello.
Ask him, why aren't you wearing any kilt? he gave no answer. He said, I'm in a hurry. I can't stop and talk.
A few other random things from January 5th. I picked this up off of HistoryOrb.com. We've used HistoryOrb before. I like it because it's such a comprehensive list. It may not be my favorite. I do find some errors. In fact, there is an error. It says in 1834 on January 5th that the Kiowa Indians recorded this date as the night that the stars fell. And I tried to do some research on it and discovered that it wasn't January 5th. It was actually November 12th.
Okay,
so I don't know. There's a graphic on here that says something not quite right, found a mistake, duplicate or historical inaccuracy, and they say let us know. And so
did you let them
I'm
know?
Letting you know.
There you go.
HistoryOrb.com.
Yeah.
The steamship San Francisco wrecked and 300 people died in 1854. I was going to read something from further back in the past, 1527, January 5th. Felix Manz, a leader of the Anabaptist congregation in Zurich, which I guess I would assume would be part of the Zwingliist Catholic separatist movement, is executed by drowning. They like to kill those religious zealots in those days. We can go into detail about that later at some other show.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
The Spartacus Uprising in Berlin from 1919. The Germans, that was when the Germans were very upset about the World War I.
Wait, Spartacus Uprising?
Spartacus, I've also seen Spartacist.
Spartacist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Spartacus like, I'm Spartacus.
It's that's what I was just thinking.
I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. This is, I don't know why, and I haven't, the research I've found, I haven't been able to figure out exactly why they call it the Spartacus Uprising. I don't know if it has anything to do with I am Spartacus, but it was when there was a set of German folk that got kind of riled up about the terms and conditions for surrender in World War I.
So were there 300 of them?
300 of them.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Well, no, that was I think that was the Spartacus thing. There were 300.
Yeah, 300 I am Spartacuses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think it was, well, I think it was more than that, or they made it seem like more.
Oh.
The Finnish offensive in 1940 on January 5th was the Finnish offensive at Suomussalmi against Russia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1927, Judge Landis begins a 3-day public hearing on charges that 4 games played between Chicago and Detroit in 1917 had been thrown to the White Sox. The White Sox. That's the Say It Ain't So, Joe thing. 1925, Nellie Taylor Ross became governor of Wyoming, the first woman governor in the U.S.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What year was that again?
1925.
Real? Whoa, a female was governor in 1925?
Yes.
Really?
Wait a minute, that can't be right. That's not right. Because Ma Ferguson was before 1925, wasn't she?
You're asking me?
Yeah. Look at
Expert.
Look it up.
Blind.
Look it up.
I look it up.
I can't believe this guy's wrong twice. It cannot possibly be. And then the last thing I was going to mention was 1953, Samuel Beckett's On Entendant Godot premieres in Paris, which is in a more common language is known as Waiting for Godot. You know about Waiting for Godot, right? Do you?
You
Kerry?
got me on an assignment.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
William Wallace, Waiting for Godot. You familiar with the play?
I can't say that I am.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry about that.
It is of the existential genre, and if you ever see it, when I went to see it several years ago, and in a theater in Fort Worth, and I found it highly amusing. But it's one of those productions where you're not really even sure if you're supposed to laugh because it's so pathetic. And like I guess I was with a bunch of, when I went, that everybody else in the theater was apparently a bunch of snobs or something. I don't know, or they found it pathetic enough to not laugh or think it was funny. But I thought it was hysterical. So I was like the only one in the theater laughing.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, to answer your question, and please don't be mad at me because it is Wikipedia, but so take it for what it's worth.
Wikipedia.
Excuse me. Wikipedia.
Yes.
The first woman to act as governor was Carolyn B. Shelton, who served as an acting governor for 1 weekend. The outgoing governor, George Earl Chamberlain, had been elected to the Senate and had to leave before his term. Somebody else got sick. So she was the first acting governor, and that was 1909, March 1st, or February 27th, 1909. Now, where Nellie came in, the first elected female governor was Nellie Taylor Ross of Wyoming, who was elected on November 4th, 1924, and sworn in January 5th, 1925.
All right.
So that's the difference.
Well, where's Ma Ferguson? Where does she come into play?
Find Ma Ferg. Okay, here we go. She was preceded by her late husband, William B. Ross. Wyoming was the first state. Elected on November 3rd was Miriam A. Ferguson of Texas. Had previously held the office. Her husband, Governor James Edward Ferguson, had previously held the office but been impeached and removed.
November 3rd what?
Okay, let me just read the whole paragraph. I'm trying to hurry through here.
Well,
the first elected female governor was Nellie Taylor Ross. Am I reading that right?
We got that.
Elected 1924, sworn in. She was
1924.
November 4th, 1924, sworn in January 5th, 1925. She was preceded in office by her late husband, William B. Ross. Wyoming was the first state to provide women's suffrage. Elected on November 3rd was Miriam A. Ferguson of Texas, whose husband, Governor James Edward Ferguson, had previously held the office, but had been impeached and removed from office in 1917. The first female governor elected without being the wife or widow of a past Senate state governor was Ella T. Grasso of Connecticut, elected in 1974 and sworn in on January 8th, 1975. And I am thoroughly confused.
Yes, I am too. Thank you for that.
and me three.
So I guess kudos go to Nellie Ross, Ma Ferguson, and what was her name? Ella.
And her dead husband.
And Ella Grasso.
Okay.
Who evidently all three of them received some kind. And is it just me? I have to ask you, this picture right there, Babe Ruth?
Yes.
Is it just me or does he look like William Shatner?
Yes, he does, actually,
He does
in that shot.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He looks like William Shatner.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd...
Theater of the mind.
Well, since I'm on the sci-fi...
All right. Well, that concludes this edition of History Strikes Back.
This is Keisha Carson with a thrilling reminder about our nation's history. Radio broadcast in 1943 warned that the enemy tried to divide our country along racial and religious lines. Today, we ask that you not fall for the lies and misdirection as we still deploy soldiers overseas. And don't fall into the trap of believing that the Constitution is a tired old document not worth honoring. No one man or woman is greater than the document, just as no man or woman is equal to or greater than God. On behalf of everyone on the Not Too Late Show, thank you, God bless, and good night.
And don't forget to listen to us again on TFOK. And, of course, check out our Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, our YouTube pages. All right.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much. That wraps it up. Our first episode.
Woohoo.
Our first new episode.
Yes. Woo.